Hi, Cherry. Hi, Zane. Good to see you back. Zane, you sort of like put on weight, right?
Yeah, I put on almost 10 kg.
Oh, what happened?
Because I have to eat my mom leftover after her stroke. So overate.
Okay, so you should give some to Rache.
Oh,
Share.
I also 5 kg already.
Zing, I give you some advice. Gershon Michael just share about his teacher, Ken Rinpoche. Very, very health conscious one. He will eat the volume that he need only. And the nutrition. The rest he will never, he just keep it there. So I think we have to practice. I'm like you also. I will eat all the leftover. My son one, I will keep on eating. So now I think I have to stop already.
Yeah, agree. I have to start practicing this.
We like don't waste food, right?
Yeah,
But I think it's very unhealthy.
true. Agree. Thank you.
Very good advice, Raymond.
I think it's a meditation 101. Nagarjuna Grace. Yeah, just share only. Gershon Michael just share about this.
So we have 1 minute to go. Can you type in the chat if you have completed your homework? Can you please type in the chat 1 if you have completed your homework? Good to hear from Cherry. She has completed. Yay. Zane half okay. Try to finish early. When it pile up, then it's not so interesting anymore. Yeah, that is difficult. I know, Cherry. No worries. Okay, it's okay. Okay, we'll start 8:30 sharp. Welcome back. This is ACI 6. We're on class 2. Today is the 19th of March 2026. Good to see you back, Gail Wong. Okay, we will start with setting our intention. So I invite you to close your eyes. Get ready. And just bring your awareness to your breath until you hear from me again. So we'll start with setting of intention. For me, I will say, I want to be a good person and I want to help others. And the best way to help others is to be a good person ourselves. Then we'll have the capacity to love others, to the capacity to help others by becoming a living example. And know that what we learn in this class will help us to become a good person. Make a commitment that we are going to pay attention in the class. And hold that intention in your mind. Your mind back to the space here. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. We will continue with the offering of the mandala. Here is the great earth, filled with the smell of the incense, covered with a blanket of flowers. The great mountain, four lands, wearing a jewel of the sun and the moon. In my mind, I make them the paradise of the Buddha and offer to you. By this deed, may every living being experience the pure world. Idam Guru Ratnamandalakam Niyatayami. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the highest community. Through the merit that I do in giving and the rest, may I reach Buddhahood for the sake of all beings. Go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the highest community. Through the merit that I do in giving and the rest, may I reach Buddhahood for the sake of all beings. Go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the highest community. Through the merit that I do in giving and the rest, I will become a Buddha for the sake of all beings. And may it be so. This is class 2. In class 1, we learn the basic, the tradition, where they come from, the meaning of the title, right? Then class 2 will be emptiness and the wish. And emptiness and the wish. So we're on chapter 2 today. I'm wondering whether should I do a recap or not. If I do a recap, I'm scared that later on will take up a lot of time. But if I don't do a recap, then where is the link? So I'll try to, I wouldn't go into detail, but just to let you know, in class 1, what is very important is understanding why diamond, the word diamond, is in the title. When the whole sutra, nothing is mentioned about the diamond. So we learn about the 3 reasons, right? The metaphor of the diamond to represent emptiness, the ultimate reality. Because a person who sees emptiness directly, the very first thing, they're desperately seeking for something to represent emptiness. And that is diamond. The metaphor of the diamond for the 3 reasons. But at the same time, they also know that it's just really a metaphor. really just a metaphor. It's nothing close at all. And the metaphor of the diamond is cut by ultimate reality, by the direct perception of emptiness. And therefore, it's important to retain the word cutter. Okay, so basically that is that. And then they bring us to the questions that lead us to chapter 2, where Subhuti, who is Subhuti? Subhuti is said to be the Buddha's wisdom embodied in a human being, in a human body, pretending to be a junior monk to ask questions that we need to hear, to ask, that know what to ask, in a way we can say that. So Subhuti asked, what did he ask? He say, how should a bodhisattva live? How should a bodhisattva practice? How should a bodhisattva think? Right? How should a bodhisattva live? How should a bodhisattva practice? How should a bodhisattva think? Right? So bodhisattva, what is bodhisattva? What is a bodhisattva? You want to type in the chat? Bodhisattva, someone who has the wish. Yeah, Emerald said the wish, correct. Someone who has bodhicitta. Bodhisattva, Pusa, is someone who has bodhicitta, Buddhism. Okay, bodhisattva, someone who has bodhicitta, Buddhism. So what is a Buddhism? What is a bodhicitta? What is that wish? What is that thing, bodhicitta? Simply, in my layman language, my own language, I would say, oh, the heart that wants to become a Buddha for the sake of all beings. Shall we say compassion? Yes. Okay. So you have because out of compassion, like Cherry said, I want to become a Buddha. Okay. I want to become a Buddha for the sake of all beings. So you can see there are two parts. I want to become a Buddha. You want to do it, not you want to bring other people to Buddhahood, but then you don't want to become a Buddha. You yourself want to become a Buddha. You want to reach Buddhahood, and then you want to bring other people to Buddhahood. And there is a definition by Maitreya, Miller for, they say the future Buddha to come. The wish to reach total enlightenment for the sake of all beings. Semke pani shen dunche yang dak zokpe jang jukde. Okay, this one we will hear that again and again, right? Semke pani shen dunche yang dak zokpe jang jukde. Say many times, then you will know. You know, sometimes you just recite, like last time when we were in school, we recite the Chen Fa Biao, right? Right, something like that. So you keep on reciting, then they will come to you. Semke pani shen dunche yang dak zokpe jang jukde. That's how it is. Of course, sometimes we forget, but it's okay. Then you learn again. So basically, bodhicitta is semke. Semke, okay? Bodhicitta, semke. And we also learn in our previous class, for new student, you might not know, we also learned that there are 3 types of semke because there are 3 tracks in the lower middle way. The lower middle way, there are 3 tracks, right? When we are in ACI 6, we are referring to Tekchen Semke, Mahayana Bodhicitta. We are referring to Mahayana Bodhicitta. Tekchen Semke means that the wish to become a totally enlightened being for the sake of all beings means that your goal is Buddhahood. Whereas the other 2 Semke, the goal is Nirvana. What is the difference? Buddhahood, you want to become a Buddha, then you want to bring everybody to be a Buddha, to be free from all suffering. Nirvana, I want to become free from all freedom. Okay, and that's my goal. Do I want to take everybody also? No. Okay, and that's fine. Okay, so the medium scope practitioner. So for ACI 6, we are referring to Tekchen Semke, this bodhicitta. Okay, so now comes your question number 1. Ta-da! Okay, this is in your homework question 1. They will ask you, what is the definition of bodhicitta? By Maitreya, the definition, Semke Pani Shendun Che Yang Dang Zokpe Jang Jupta, the wish to become a totally enlightened being or totally enlightened for the benefit of all beings, for the sake of all beings. Okay, it's easy, yeah. And we also know that, of course, as any other things, we can always classify the bodhicitta in different ways. So another category would be the bodhicitta can be categorized as deceptive bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. So deceptive bodhicitta is also called apparent bodhicitta. It is also called regular bodhicitta. And the words, when I hear that last time when I was still very scared of what is that. So deceptive bodhicitta basically is the bodhicitta that we all have. You know, the bodhicitta that we have that is focused on the deceptive things, the things in the deceptive reality. We are in deceptive reality. Okay, we are in deceptive reality. So we are focusing on Raymond, Zane, okay, Cherry, okay, those people in the deceptive reality that we see, people around us. Those are deceptive. Because we are in deceptive reality, of course, the things that we focus are things in deceptive reality, and therefore it is called deceptive bodhicitta. And ultimate bodhicitta basically is the code word for direct perception of emptiness. Means that seeing emptiness with bodhicitta. When you see emptiness at path number 3, you have this, your heart is imbued with this love for all beings. Okay? So at that point in time, you have this ultimate bodhicitta in your experience. You're basically just seeing emptiness directly with bodhicitta in your mind. Okay, so this is another category of bodhicitta. This is in your question number 2. They ask you explain the difference between deceptive bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. So deceptive would be, we say already, those bodhicitta that we have here, right? I want to become a Buddha for the sake of all beings, because it is referring to deceptive reality. It's focused on the things in the deceptive reality. Whereas ultimate bodhicitta will be the direct perception of emptiness. Okay? Just that, as simple as that, okay? Seeing emptiness directly with bodhicitta. Now, so when we say just now, bodhicitta, right? Go back to the questions. We say bodhicitta. How should a bodhisattva think and act from the beginning? Subhuti asked. How should a bodhisattva think and act? We say, who is a bodhisattva? Bodhisattva is someone with the bodhicitta. Right now, someone with bodhicitta. So, I have bodhicitta. Am I a bodhisattva? So, am I in this category, isn't it? So, we want to know. So, I go and read the Diamond Cutter Sutra. Yay, yes, okay. They say, is anybody who has developed bodhicitta or who are developing bodhicitta? Okay. Yeah. So that means we are all included. Yay. Okay. And Choni Lama said, quoting Choni Lama, he says that Lord Buddha's intention at this point refer primarily to the wish that occur at path number 1 and path number 2. Path number one is the path of accumulation, right? Yeah, and then path number two, the path of preparation, where somebody teach you the pen and you're in the class here and you're preparing, you're learning, collecting the goodness to see emptiness directly. So that means we are all included here. Yeah. Good to hear that, isn't it? So go back to the thing, that's Subuti's question. How should a bodhisattva think and act? How should a bodhisattva think and act? Okay, so Lord Buddha say, okay, I'll tell you, but listen carefully. Okay, Lord Buddha say, listen carefully. Now I'll tell you how should a bodhisattva think and act. Okay. I need somebody who want to read this paragraph. This is Lord Buddha's answer.
I can help read.
Yeah, please.
I will bring to nirvana the total amount of living beings, every single one numbered among the ranks of living kind, those who were born from eggs, those who were born from a womb, those who were born through warmth and moisture, those who were born miraculously, those who have a physical form, those with none, those with conceptions, those with none, and those with neither conceptions nor no conceptions. However many living beings there are, in whatever realms there may be, anyone at all labeled with the name of living being. All these will I bring to the total nirvana, to the sphere beyond all grief, where none of the parts of the person are left at all. Yet, even if I do manage to bring this limitless number of living beings to total nirvana, there will be no living beings at all who was brought to total nirvana.
Thank you, Zane. Zane's reading is good, not too fast, very clear. Okay, so this one paragraph alone is very, very deep, the meaning. Okay, so in short, Lord Buddha say, okay, so you ask, Subhuti asks, how should a bodhisattva think and act? Lord Buddha say, oh, bring to nirvana all the living beings. Bring all the living beings to nirvana. That's Lord Buddha's answer. Okay, the first part now, we go for the first part. So nirvana, what is nirvana? First of all, we want to talk about nirvana. What is nirvana? We learned that nirvana, the definition of nirvana is the permanent stopping of all mental afflictions. Permanent stopping of all mental afflictions, okay, in their entirety due to seeing emptiness directly. The definition. The permanent cessation or permanent stopping, permanent ending of all mental affliction obstacles means that you get rid of all your mental afflictions and the seeds for more. Not just the mental affliction now and the seed for more. Because you see emptiness directly. Okay, so nirvana is the permanent ending in which you get rid of all our mental affliction. Another word for mental affliction will be negative emotion or 负面的情绪 due to seeing emptiness directly. And we mentioned in class number 1, mental affliction and emptiness, they cannot coexist, okay? They cannot coexist. If you truly understand emptiness, it's impossible to be upset. That's Kashila say, okay? But I get upset. Means that I forget my emptiness. Okay, I forget my emptiness. Okay. If you truly understand emptiness, it's impossible for us to be upset, to get angry, jealous, frustrated, right? All kind of negative emotion that we have. The moment we have negative emotion, it is focused on an object of emotion that does not exist. Gotcha. We'll talk about that later on, okay? Very soon in this class. Okay, so they cannot coexist. You understand emptiness? This one will, the mental affliction will be gone. Okay? The moment you're focused, you have mental affliction, you're upset, you forget emptiness. That is the thing. The challenge is we remember emptiness, but can I remember emptiness every moment? That is the question. Okay, right? Correct or not? We all learn enough to understand, to know, to apply. Yes, we can do that, but we improve. So pat ourselves. Yay, we do improve. We are doing very well. Okay, but we are not perfect yet. We are on the path. That's okay. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I get upset. That's fine. Okay, recognize that. Yeah, pat yourself. I'm doing great. I'm happy. Okay, I'm doing great. I recognize that, and I become better and better. Okay, so the practice is to keep on practicing until we reach path 3, that we are able to see emptiness directly. And subsequent to that, they call it the 16 realization. With this one, the individual analysis here referring to the 16 aspects. You realize the 16 aspects of the 4 area truth. Okay, that one we will, in one of the class here, we will learn, I think, class, I cannot remember which class, ACI 6, we'll learn that. Okay, subsequent to that, you have a realization that will totally change your life because you no longer have doubt in the path. You know you're on the right path. You know you will be free from all this suffering. You know, yeah, and you just have to keep on doing that. You still see the person making you upset. Okay, you still see it as coming from themselves, but you no longer believe that. Okay, so you are burning off, purifying yourself, burning off all those seeds. Remainder, we have nirvana with leftover and with no leftover. So you take time until you reach, you take time for you burn off all these things until you reach nirvana. That could be nirvana with leftover or nirvana with no leftover. Okay, so come back to this one. How should a bodhisattva think and act? So Buddha asks. So Lord Buddha said, bring to nirvana all those living beings. Bring all those living beings to nirvana. Okay, nirvana will be, we say, is the permanent stopping of all mental afflictions in their entirety because you understand emptiness. So nice, imagine just a moment how wonderful it will be if the mind is free of all this impurity, free of all this negative emotion. Wow, you will be just joy, happy, open, right? Wow, just think for a moment without all this negativity, how would that be? So nirvana, another word for nirvana will be to go beyond. They call it go beyond grief. It's very common word, to go beyond grief or to go beyond sorrow. Go beyond grief. Go beyond means go somewhere else. No, nirvana is not that you can go somewhere else. It's a state of mind, right? Nirvana is a cessation. It's not like you go like from Malaysia, go to Singapore. It's not like that. Okay, it's not a place. So another word for nirvana is beyond. We say go beyond. Go beyond sorrow. Go beyond grief. I like to call it go beyond grief. Grief. Go beyond grief. The grief here is referring to suffering, mental affliction, and karma. Okay, they are all like one package lah. To me, they are all like one package lah. You know, I always look at them as one package. Why? Because of my past karma, I'm suffering now. So you see, karma, suffering. Because of my past karma, I'm suffering now. Right? And then I have this mental affliction, 3. See, karma, suffering, mental affliction, 3 things. Because I have mental affliction, then I create causes for my future suffering, again suffering. One is suffering now, the other one is suffering future. So I have more and more suffering, is in the cycle. So they are like a package, you know. So when you go beyond the grief, means you go beyond this kind of karma, you go beyond mental affliction, you go beyond, of course, your suffering. When you don't have this karma and mental affliction, obviously, the come with that will be the suffering also will be gone. Okay, so you go beyond means you get rid of them. You get rid of them. Can you see that the last word? You get rid, you eliminate them permanently within oneself. It's not like you go somewhere else. It's within yourself, you know. Purification. You see emptiness directly. All this purification is within. But all our whole life, we are seeking happiness outside. Okay, so this is the question 3. Is in your homework question 3. Nirvana means to go beyond grief. How to go beyond grief? Emptiness, remember? They say emptiness and mental affliction, they cannot coexist. Okay, so all this class, path number 2, is path of preparation, understanding the pain, understanding where things come from, understanding where the annoying person that make me so upset, where they come from, okay, which is understanding intellectually. And then eventually you will experience that directly, okay? And then there's no more U-turn. You will be on your way. We call it stream enterer. You're on your way out of samsara. Okay, so you say, Lord Subhuti asks, how should a bodhisattva think and act? Lord Buddha say, bring all living beings to nirvana. All those beings that you call living beings, keyword, that you call living beings. Okay, what Lord Buddha said? Think of all beings, all those living beings that you call living beings, all those beings that you call living beings, those born from the 4. Okay, bring them to nirvana. Okay, so Lord Buddha said, think of all beings, all those beings that you call living beings, whether they have a physical body or not. Physical body means they come from desire realm and form realm. Or whether they don't have a physical body means that they're coming from the formless realm. Or if you classify them by the type of birth, how they are born. Okay, they are born at the 4 types. I won't go into detail. Okay, so can you type in the chat? Beings that are born from egg. Beings born from egg. You can type in the chat. Okay, those beings that born from egg. What are they? So Lord Buddha said, think of all beings, all those beings that you call living beings born from Okay, the first one, born from eggs. What are the beings that are born from eggs? You want to type in the chat? Okay, Cherry says snake. Yes. Chicken. Okay. Duck. Correct. It's just some lizard, bird, snake. Okay, good. Okay. This one will be science now. Okay, so we move on. You all can Google on your own. Next one. What about those born from womb? WOMB, from the womb. Human, correct. Cow, yes. Human, yes. Monkey? I think monkey also, right? Okay, next one will be whale. Yes, whale. Yes, good, Richie. What about those born from warmth and moisture? Warmth and moisture. Insects, emerald insects, mold, mushroom, bacteria. Okay. Insects, okay. So what about those miraculous birth? They just born complete whole. Whole. Miraculous birth. Like I know hell being. Hell being. Pleasure being, yes, correct. Pleasure being, yes. Angels and demons, I think so, should be. Okay. All right, so roughly give us an idea of that. The rest you can Google on your own, okay? So Lord Buddha say, come back to this one. Okay. Lord Buddha say, think of all beings, all living beings that you call living beings and bring them to nirvana. Okay. Those beings born from tat, 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 tat. Okay. And even if I do manage to bring all beings to nirvana, nobody was brought to nirvana. Okay, the second part, you can see I got two lines here. The first one is the first line that just now we just went through. The second line is the blue one. Now we are into part 2. Okay, so Lord Buddha say, think of all beings, all living beings that you call living beings, all beings that you call living beings, that you call living beings. Okay, that's the first part. We'll go into that later on, very shortly. Okay. Those born from and you bring them all to nirvana. Okay, the first part. Okay, we'll finish. Second part. And even if I manage to bring them all to nirvana, nobody was brought to nirvana. Nobody was brought there. What? Why? Because they don't exist truly. Because they don't exist ultimately. Because we are not thinking of them in a correct way. How to say? Because we are thinking of them in a self-existent way. Why? Lord Buddha say, even if I managed to bring all living beings to nirvana, nobody was brought to nirvana at all, because I was thinking in a self-existent way. I'm thinking of them in a self-existent way. Means that I'm thinking that there are self-existent beings out there on their own with self-nature. Again, I'm thinking of them in a self-existent way, that there are self-existent beings, that the self-existent me, bringing it to a self-existent nirvana. And they don't exist in that way. Sometimes I may think, no, I'm not thinking of them in a self-existent way, but I do think of them in a self-existent way. I do think of them like there are outside beings with some self-nature of their own, independent of coming from me, independent of my projection. And that is thinking of them in a self-existent way, okay? So if we are thinking of them in that way, that there is this self-existent living beings, that this self-existent me that can bring to a self-existent nirvana, then they don't exist. Nobody was brought to nirvana because there's no such thing. So we'll talk in detail, what do you mean by self-existent thing? What is a self-existent thing? We'll talk more about that. That leads to question 4. What is a self-existent thing? Is a gacha. Gacha, the thing that we deny. A self-existent thing is a thing that cannot exist. Impossible, the impossible. Because Sheila always say, the two-headed purple elephant in the room. Is there a two-headed purple elephant? There's no such thing. Come on. Okay, so that is a thing. Gacha is a thing that don't exist. The thing that we deny. But we have to identify that because we are holding on, we are grasping to that idea. We are holding on to things as self-existent in the sense that they have some nature of their own, in it, from it, with their own nature, independent of my projection. Okay? Especially when I get upset. Okay? Obviously, when I get upset, I'm holding on to the thing as self-existent, that they are doing this to me. They are so annoying, so rude, so terrible, so frustrating from their own side. Okay? Nothing to do with me. And so I get very angry, I'm very upset. And that is a gacha. And that is a gacha. When I'm upset, I'm focusing on an object of emotion that does not exist. I'm focusing on gacha. I'm focusing on this person who is so annoying, from their own side. And I get very upset. Okay, so every time we are upset, every time we have mental affliction, when I get upset, frustrated, okay, that is when I am holding on to the things self-existently, a gacha. I'm focusing on a gacha. And it's so important to identify the gacha because the gacha is what emptiness is empty of. The gacha is what emptiness is empty of. Gacha is what emptiness is empty of. I use back the same word Sheila used. I used to don't understand why he say like that, It took me a long time to finally understand that, okay? So, emptiness, what is emptiness? Emptiness is the absence of this gacha. Emptiness is the absence of a thing that is not coming from me, okay? You need to have the double not and not, okay? The double negative, Emptiness is the absence. Don't have, remember the picture I show? This one, right? Okay, emptiness is the absence of what? What is the thing that get Emptiness is the absence of a thing that is not coming from me. The person I'm angry at, the person I'm so upset, I'm so angry with that person, you know. It made me so pissed off. Okay? That person I'm so pissed off is a gacha. Okay? Emptiness is the absence. Absence of what? Absence of the gacha. Okay? Emptiness is the absence of a thing that is not coming from me. Can you see the double negative? The proper way that you have to learn is to learn the double negative, whether you like it or not. Write it on your book. Okay, you forget, it's okay. Come back to that. Okay, you can say in a different way, but always go back to the proper way. You will find that it is important after many years. When I was a student, I don't understand, but luckily because Sheila always say, and my teacher always say, it's important to maintain the double negative. After learning for so many years, how many years? I learned in 2015, 11 years. Only now I realize how important it is to maintain the double negative. How important it is to maintain the double negative. Okay, again, emptiness is the absence. When you see emptiness, why is the absence? You see, when you see emptiness, when you have the understanding of emptiness, immediately, right, the gacha, the mental affliction just gone. So it's the absence of what? Absence of what? What is the thing that poof? The thing that's not coming from me, correct? I'm upset at the thing that's not, correct? If the thing is coming from me, you think I'll get upset? No, isn't it? If I know I plant this seed and now I get this result, I won't get angry, what? Correct? The thing is, I don't think I deserve that, correct? When I get upset, it's because I think I don't deserve that. I think the person should not do like that to me. How can you do like that to me? Come on, I'm so angry, that person is so unreasonable, so inconsiderate, so annoying, so terrible, so frustrating. You can say 101 reason, right? It's just that you feel that the thing is self-existent in a way, in a simple terms. I think it has nothing to do with me. I don't think I deserve to be treated in that way. That's why I get very angry and very upset. Okay, and that is a gacha. And emptiness is the absence of this non-existent thing called gacha, the thing that is not coming from me, the thing I think is not coming from me. Okay, keep on working with that. I bring to your meditation. This is one of the most useful thing you can help your life. I feel that, okay, you can forget other thing, the name, okay, it's okay. But this thing will help you in your life. It will help you in your life. Really, it will help you in your life. You want to be happy? You learn that. Okay. Learn what is this gacha. What is this gacha exactly? Okay. Are you able to come to your mind what is your gacha in your life or not? You want to try to identify your gacha? I give you 1 minute to see whether anyone able to identify their gacha in their life. If you are able to kind of identify and know the gacha in your life? You know, can you type one in the chat? You no need to describe to me. I know everybody, unless you're comfortable, I just want to know. Okay. Good, Cherry. You're able to identify, you can just type one. If you want to share it, is also good. Are you able to identify your gacha or not? Can you identify? If yes, you think, oh yeah, I think I know, I got a gacha. Yeah, you identify type one. Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, that day I was upset because I don't like, I feel the person kind of like being rude to me from their own side. That is a gacha. Kind of being very inconsiderate, okay, really so frustrating, you know, doing that kind of behavior that I hate it so much. You identify your gacha? Are you able to identify your gacha? Yeah, correct. Yes. I like it so much. Thank you for your response. Okay, so we have Cherry, I don't know, JD, Jasmine, Richie, Raymond, okay. KL, yeah, we identify your gacha. Okay, Emerald say not sure. It's okay. You can keep on working in your think, contemplate or meditate. Very interesting. Okay, say my frustration. Oh yeah, I have the same thing. So frustrating. You know, sometimes I, you know, that is also my main thing. Why make me so frustrated? Yeah, Angela. Of course, sometimes can, sometimes cannot. Yes, of course. Yeah. That's why we are on the path. If you can, but that's already good. Sometimes can means that you know your gacha. Just that sometimes we are so overwhelming, the negative emotion is so overwhelming, we don't think that is a gacha. Correct now? We think, whoa, okay, right? Correct now? When we are so overwhelming, we are so upset, that is a gacha. We are actually, we 一直在跟 gacha 互动哦。We are keep on, cook inside our mind with the gacha, get anger, get boiling, and then get more upset. Not grateful, Raymond say, yeah. So yeah, sometimes I see like that I recognize when I was young, when I was always not grateful. Now I see that, you see. Okay. So when you're able to identify that, yeah, we see all those people, we are so angry, want to upset. Those are the gacha that upset from their own side. I didn't do anything. Yeah, who do like that to me, done me wrong. Yes, I love that, Cherry. Yeah, correct. Okay. So keep on working with that. Those are the gacha. And then once you identify your gacha, then you'll be able to understand emptiness better. You understand? If you just learn and learn and learn, you don't try to think about that, then when all come together, you'll find it very confusing. Okay, so first step, I say that you identify your gacha already roughly. Okay, you don't have to be very accurate. You can keep on contemplate and bring it to your meditation. Then now go to emptiness. What is emptiness? Just now I say, it is this absence, this emptiness, the absence. the one that you're holding on doing this to me. Okay, emptiness is the absence of this, the absence of the thing that's not coming from me, that make me upset from their own side. Okay, hold on to that. Memorize that for this week. This 1 week, you will, what you do for this 1 week, remembering this will help you for the next 10 years, 20 years. It will keep on, it will help you every day, every month, every year. You'll get better and better, better and better. This is one of the most useful thing that I strongly recommend, that this week you really, really, really think about it, and really think about it. You forget about the name of the author, I don't care, okay? But try to think about this. Okay, gotcha, the thing that really make me upset from their own side. I'm so damn angry with the person, I'm upset. Emptiness. The moment, remember, emptiness and mental affliction, they cannot coexist, right? The moment I have this emptiness is the absence of this thing that's not coming from me. Why I'm angry? Because I think it's not coming from me, correct? I think the gotcha, the person who is make me upset, make me frustrated, has nothing to do with me. So terrible. I can give 1,001 reason to tell you how terrible the person is. Okay. And sometimes I think the problem will be more serious if other people also agree with you, If you say, oh, this person is so terrible, and then you talk to B also agree, yeah, like that, then they reinforce your belief, reinforce your belief in the gotcha, that you are correct. Okay. Then you talk to C, talk to Z, say, yeah, then 3 people agree already. Yeah, say, everybody also say she is like that one. Okay. She is that way, So you're very sure that person is horrible, is terrible, is very, have a lot of this bad quality from their own side. How to prove that you're wrong? Emptiness is the absence of that. How to prove that? We'll come to this shortly, okay? Very simple. The person that made me upset, I was very upset for a long time, until I think about there are people who find her nice, isn't it? Someone who will find her a nice person, right? And she is not annoying from her side all the time. So that proves that obviously that thing that's upsetting me is not coming from her own side. Yeah, obviously it's coming from me. Why is coming from me? Then we'll go to the next step shortly. Okay, so now we'll come back to the question, our topic today. Okay. So how should a bodhisattva think and act? So bring all living beings to nirvana. All the beings that you call living beings, whether they are born from third, and third, bring them all to nirvana, first part. The second part, even if I do manage to bring them all to nirvana, nobody was brought to nirvana at all. Why? Because I am thinking of them in a self-existent way. I'm thinking that there is these self-existent living beings. What is this self-existent living beings? It is a gotcha. I'm thinking that there is this self-existent living beings, that this self-existent me, which is a gotcha, that can bring to a self-existent nirvana, which is a gotcha. I'm thinking that there are self-existent beings. Self-existent beings means that beings that have their own self-nature, independent of my projection, independent of coming from me. And there is this self-existent me. What does that mean? I ask myself. the me, they have some self nature from the own side without coming from my projection. And the self-existent nirvana, there's this nirvana with some nature of their own that is not coming from my projection. So my question will be, is there any beings that I perceive exist independent of my projection? Is there any beings that I perceive exist independent of my projection? Yeah, no. Okay, so I'm bringing to the question that says that when the second part of Lord Buddha's answer, right? Even if I do manage to bring all living beings to nirvana, nobody was brought at all to nirvana. Why? Because I'm thinking of them in a self-existent way. I'm thinking that there is this self-existent beings that the self-existent me can bring to a self-existent nirvana. So that leads to this question, is there any beings that I perceive exist independent of my projection? You say no, okay? The beings, if there are beings that I can perceive independent of my projection, is a gacha, is a self-existent being. Okay? So those are the gacha. The self-existent me is a gacha. Is there a me that I perceive that exists independent of my projection? No. Is there a nirvana that I perceive exists independent of my projection? No. Okay. So gacha is a question for you. Question 4. Describe the object we deny. Okay. The object we deny is called gacha. When we speak of emptiness, the object we deny is a gacha. Okay. Emptiness is the absence. Absence, like a two-headed purple elephant that could never exist anyway. The absence of this thing that could not exist. We call it the object we deny. What is the object we deny? It is anything that does not exist by virtue of my projection, by virtue of my perceptions. Okay? Okay, gacha is something that does not exist by virtue of my perception. Means that they do not exist from my perception, from my projection. Things that can exist independent of my projection is a gacha, isn't it? How can they exist independent of my projection? Okay, so gacha is a very, very important topic. So when we say gacha, is a thing that do not exist, things that thing that we think is there but it's not there, in the sense that there's someone who can upset me from their own side, that can make me angry, can upset me from their own side, independent. I didn't do anything. That is the gacha. So we keep on saying gacha, gacha, gacha. Then how should thing exist? Okay, we keep on talking about gacha, 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 right? And say this thing don't exist, like that, don't exist, like that, don't exist. Then how should they exist? Okay, emptiness. This one, emptiness is the absence of this gacha, isn't it? Then we keep on talking about the things don't exist. Then how do they exist? The other side of that, two sides of the coin. One is emptiness, right? What is emptiness? Emptiness is the absence of the gacha, right? The absence of the thing that don't come from me. Two sides of the coin, karma and emptiness. Okay, how it exists? Dependent origination. Emptiness and dependent origination, they are the two sides of the coin, right? So how do they exist? How they exist? They exist how? My label, my mind label it. My mind label it. How they exist? My mind label it. And that's the ultimate meaning of dependent origination. Okay, unless you label something, then they do not exist as that for you. Unless you label it, they don't exist as that for you. I say, oh, that person is so frustrating. And that, until I label it that way, they don't exist as a frustrating person for me. Right? Until I label, oh, it's such an annoying person. Until I label it that way, it is not that annoying person for me, unique to me, for me, exists for me as that. We are in the higher school. If you remember the higher middle way, how things exist by virtue of me thinking and naming them. Thinking and naming them. When you name them means you label them. You label that. My mind label them. Okay? Then why don't I just label it something nice, isn't it? A nice person, not by choice. I'm forced by my karma. Okay? I'm forced by my karma to experience that, to find it so frustrating, to find the person so annoying. It's forced by my karma. Why? The karma has to do with our sila. Sila means our ethics, what we do, say, and think, plant the seed in our mind, okay, that then ripen as our experience. Okay, so my mind put a label. So can just put a label, any label lah? No, not by choice. Okay, you're forced to put it like, I see that as an annoying person. Okay, I put the parts together, my mind, my eye, take the color and shape, okay, organize that, and then label it annoying. So frustrating. It's a frustrating situation for me. It's a frustration situation for me. Until I label it, it does not exist as frustrating for me. It is not that for me. Okay, so we get an idea. Okay, so just now we look at the emptiness. Emptiness is the absence of the gacha, right? Just now I say absence of the gacha, the thing, the non-existent thing. Emptiness is the absence of the thing that is not coming from a label. Can you get it? And how things exist? Things exist by my projection, by my label, So you see the two sides of that. Huh? Emptiness is the absence of the thing that's not coming from my projection, that's not coming from my label, that's not coming from me, that is not coming from my seeds ripening. Okay? That's why I'm upset, ma. That's why I'm angry, ma. Okay, I'm upset at the person who is so annoying. That one is a gacha. Okay? And emptiness is the absence of this person that is not coming from my seed, that is not coming from my projection. Okay, they all mean the same. I'm just saying they're not coming from my label. Okay, so the opposite of that, dependent origination, how they exist. I'm not saying nothing exists at all. Okay, oh, you're not explaining, you're just imagining. Okay, how they exist? They exist by virtue of my projection or by virtue of my label. By virtue of my label. Okay. Okay, let's look at that. Okay, I say, oh, by virtue of my label, so this is elephant. I say this is elephant, right? This is elephant. How they exist? I said, because I label it, right? It's from my label. So where is the elephant? You say, no, it is an elephant. It is an elephant. How to prove that? Okay, we want to prove that. Where is the elephant now? Where is the elephant? We want to prove. Is it in any of the parts of the elephant? Any of the parts? Is it in any of the parts? One of the parts? They say, no lah, of course, I think I'm stupid. Okay. Is it in some of the parts? No. Is it in something else? Of course not. I'm not stupid. Is it in all the parts? Of course it's in all the parts. All the parts put together, it is elephant. Is it true that all the parts together, it is elephant? No, because someone else may not think that this is elephant, isn't it? The baby doesn't know this is elephant. Same like the puppy and the chew toy. The pen and the chew toy. Is it all the parts? Not until you put the label. Not until you put the label. How to prove that? How to prove that? If you go looking for the thing that get the label, you cannot find it. If you go looking for the thing that get the label, you cannot find it. I go look for the label, the elephant. Okay, the thing that get the label. We say the elephant, right? I cannot find it. What I find here would be, I see the ears, the eyes, the trunk, the mouth, the leg, the body, right? Do I see elephant? No. What I see smaller and smaller parts appearing to me that get another label. Do I see elephant? No, you see, where's the elephant? No, the elephant here, where? Got eyes, ears, parts, all you see the parts here. Until you put the label. It is not all the parts together, they are not elephant until you put the label. How to prove that? If I go looking for the thing that get the label, I cannot find it. Where is elephant? Is it in the ear? Is it in the eyes? Is it in the nose? Is it in the mouth? Is it in the leg? Is it in the tail? Is it in the body? I cannot find it. You find more and more smaller parts that appear to you that get another label. So I see the body. Then where is the body? Where is the body? Oh, I see the body. When I see the body, I see what? I see the skin. I see the hair. Correct? I see smaller parts that appear to me that get another label. You can keep on zoom. You cannot find anything. You cannot find anything that is not coming from your label. And that's when you get an aha. That's the emptiness. That's the emptiness. That there is not a single thing that is not coming from my label. You zoom. You can try to do that in your meditation. Very interesting. Okay. You can do it with anything. Try it with anything. Okay, just try. I try it myself. Okay, this is me. Where's the me? I got this. Okay. I got, where's my face? No, this is the face. I got the eye, ear, nose, mouth. Where's the mouth? No, this is the mouth. I got the lips, got the teeth. Cannot see. Where's the lips? Got the upper lip, lower lips. Where's the upper lip? No, there's an upper lip here. You can see the skin. Then you keep on, you find more and more smaller parts that appear to you that get another label. You can never find the thing that you're looking for. If you go looking for the thing that get the label, you can never find it. And that's the emptiness of the thing. And how they exist? Our label is mind putting on label, mind putting on label, mind putting on label. You can do this experiment, okay? Go and find anything in your life. Even annoying person, also the same thing. Even the pen, you can try it on a thing, and you can try it on a person. You can try it on a situation. If you go looking for the thing that get your label, you can never be able to find. You won't find it. you'll find what you find? You find smaller and smaller parts that appear to you that get another label. And then you reach this aha. There is not a single thing that is not coming from me. That's the emptiness of the pen. That's the emptiness of the elephant. And then you go up. Just now you go down, isn't it down? Then you go back up. Parts get the label, parts get the label, parts get the label. Collection of the parts get the label. You work back up. You work down, then you work back up. Okay, let's just play. Okay, experiment one. What is this? Say, oh, it's a face. Right? Agree, right? It's a face. And I'm not here to trap anybody, okay? We just want to do experiment. So is this a face? You say, no. Okay. But all the information is the same, what? No. It's not a face, not that collection of parts. It's until you get a label, they become the face for you. Another one. Is this an eyeball? You say no. Is this an eyeball? You say, yeah, okay, this is an eyeball. You go and find the eyeball. Where's the eyeball? No eyeball? No eyeball. You go down, you find, zoom in, you find. No eyeball. Zoom down, 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 down. No eyeball. Okay, you cannot find. You cannot get, you get an aha, you get to the stage that there isn't anything there that has its own label. Cannot find a single thing that's not coming from my label. And then you go up again, you work up again, okay? Work up again, work up again, up, work up again. Then you say, oh yes, eyeball. When the eyeball get defined, okay, you put it's mind, the mind putting on label, mind putting on label, then you work up, work up. You can try this experiment. Then, so this one, we are in the higher school, right? We are in a higher school. How things exist? We say every object is a product labeling. Something given a name and somebody giving it a name. Okay, there's some reasonable basis out there. And then this state of mind, they give it a label. They give it a label. One example is you have these hose. You have this, look like a hose, isn't it? This is a hose or a rope, okay? You know, the garden, in your garden, you need to water the plants, right? You have this hose. And at one corner, maybe at night, not very, at the dark corner, and then you kind of like look at it and then you thought it's a snake. You just jump up and think it's a snake, okay? So this is the metaphor to show that how things are labeled with our concept, okay? How things exist, our label, our mind giving a label, and it become a snake for me, and then I jump up. I thought it's a snake. Okay, I won't say, before we label it, it is empty. Yes, it is empty. There's a potential to become anything. Okay, everything is empty, and therefore it can be what it is for me, for you, for each one of us. We see the parts that we see forced by our karma, and then we label it. We label it, yeah. But doesn't mean that now you say, hey, but he is like that. What? Okay, you see the parts that you see forced by your karma. Remember this one? There are some reasonable basis. Every product, or sorry, every object is a product labeling. Something given a name, there is some basis there, some basis that you see the parts, right? Because of the parts, the clue, then you give that label, forced by your karma to give that label. So I want how to change the label. We say the basis for that is our morality sila. So be kind, be nice, keep our ethics, yeah. And then we will be forced to see the parts that are beautiful, that are good, that is pleasant. You will be able to give a label that is pleasant. It will be a pleasant experience. Yeah. Lynn say, be kind, be nice. Yeah. So we are very happy we learned that. Before we learn all these things, oh, okay, you want to do like that, I can get even, okay, can be very harsh, okay. But now, okay, it's in your self-interest to be kind to others. Okay? So thank you for the kind words. I always say, thank you for the kind words. Then I hear more and more kind words because I used to hear very rude people like want to fight with me or okay, very unkind. So that means that I have to change my speech. So I try to be nicer, kinder, because I want to change that. And I see that, oh, people around me also, I see, now it's not so nice to me, so kind. Of course, not all the time. I don't say all the time because I'm not perfect yet. Okay, occasionally also you see something that is not nice, and remember where they come from. Emptiness of that is, there is not a single word that is not coming from my label, from my projection. So change my label, change my way of behaving, of way of acting. And that is really hard. That is really hard, especially in corporate, I tell you, Yeah. I also don't know sometimes whether I do it correctly. Now I have another, I recently I learned a lot of meditation. I know I sometimes like for me, I thought, oh yeah, I want to be kind. I should not say it, And I come to the extreme point of I always run away from difficult situation because I try to avoid conflict. Okay, I try to avoid saying things that's not pleasant, and that's also not correct. I tell you, I go through that now for these few years. It's the other extreme of that. Okay, the other extreme of that. And now I'm trying to come out and become more balanced. I met a teacher very kind. I asked her, I went for meditation and I said, okay, then say, okay, it's not that you cannot act, you can act. You have a balanced mind. So I have a way to keep my mind balanced. Then out of compassion, you can act. Then once your mind is balanced, whatever you say is the correct one. It's with wisdom and love. Not to say you cannot act. So you can act. It's not that you do. Previously, after I learned about all this ACI, I kind of like changed myself so much. I want to change my, from speaking very harshly, like I can get even and all these things, to someone very kind, very nice. So when I'm in a very difficult situation, unpleasant situation, I have a tendency to run away. I will give up everything because I don't want to plant bad seeds. Right now, if I find the situation is so, I don't want people to plant bad seeds, and I don't want people to plant bad seeds. And I find it's really, I cannot take it. It's so overwhelming. And what I normally do, I always run away. I always hide. Okay, I give up. Okay, I got no attachment one. Okay, a lot of people, they know me. I can give up a lot of things. I got no attachment, really. Okay, I can just give. I just give up. But that is also the other, that is the extreme. I actually fall into one extreme, and now I'm coming out slowly, coming back. Okay, I have the two and I'm practicing. I'm very happy. Balanced mind. Okay, once my mind is balanced, without that emotion high, you must bring your mind balance. Then only I can act with love and wisdom. Can act or not? Can. That time when you act is different already, because you act not because your emotion is very hot, very upset, not happy, annoying, frustrating. Then whatever you act out of that is not good. It's either it will be hurting yourself and hurting other people. Yeah, Cherry asked she said, thank you for talking about this. This is something that's been bothering me. When people start abusing your kindness and patience, what are we supposed to do? Okay, keep boundaries, respond back. Yes, keep boundaries. You need to keep boundaries. I also learned to draw boundaries. I think it's important once you have a balanced mind. Keep boundaries, really draw a boundary. What is the boundary? And let them know and be firm of that. And still respond with kindness, with compassion. I think act out of compassion. Actually, depends on each one capacity. There's no one answer, I am challenging myself to the max, really. I'm in a very, very unbelievable situation, to the lowest bottom. And I'm very happy I'm coming out of that. I go through a lot on this thing, and I also have a tendency to, because I just want to be kind. Yeah, and I will think I have a tendency to just swallow, I'm very good at swallow, but it's not good for me, and it's also affecting me. So I'm learning you need to have a balanced mind and act with compassion. And that is not easy, depending on your capacity. But the minimum is you need boundaries. Yeah. This one we can talk a lot about that if you have a specific situation. Okay, so come back to, I have 5 minutes, but I haven't finished. I'll let you do the last question 5. Okay, so they say, question 5 is, why is it true that when we look for the thing we label with our names and concept, we cannot find it? Yeah, so you can read the answer on your own. I've already explained just now. If you go to look for the things that get the label, you cannot find it. Because there is no self-existent thing, okay, with that label. Things are just appearing to you, label, your label, your label. That's how things exist. The emptiness of that is the absence of the thing that's not coming from your label. That's the gotcha. Okay, 2 sides of the coin. That's how I learn. I finally found a way to learn. Otherwise, so many big terms. How to make myself easy to learn. We say karma and emptiness has 2 sides of the coin, right? Emptiness. Emptiness is the absence of what? Absence of, I put here something outside here. Absence of the thing that's not coming from me. What is coming from me is here. This is coming from me, right? Coming from me. Okay? Emptiness is the absence of the thing. So that's why emptiness is the absence of that gotcha. And how the thing exists? From my label. My mind overlaying label on the parts. I got one small part that I have not covered. I don't want to rush. I don't want to rush. I want to do a quick recap and I'll continue the last part, but it's enough. Today I finished question 1 to 5. Okay, 1 to 5. I want to stop here. I do a quick recap on that. A quick recap will be, okay, the quick recap will be, Subhuti asks, how should a bodhisattva think and act? Lord Buddha says, bring all living beings to nirvana. Okay, all living beings. Who are all living beings? Say, all the living beings that you call living beings, that you call living beings. Can you see that how it relates to our question 5? Now we come to question 5, I link to question 5. You call those that you label living being, that you call living being. Okay? Those that you call living being, those that you label living beings, those that are coming from us, coming from our projection. Okay? Bring all living beings that you call living beings to nirvana. That's the first part. And even if I manage to bring all living beings to nirvana, nobody got to nirvana. Why? Because I am thinking of them in a self-existent way. I am thinking that there is this self-existent living beings, that this self-existent me can bring to a self-existent nirvana. What is that? Gacha. The self-existent. Can you see all the three self-existent, the self-existent living being, that the self-existent me bring to the self-existent nirvana? They don't exist. It's impossible. The gacha is impossible. The thing that we deny. Okay? And emptiness, remember they cannot coexist. Emptiness is the absence of this gacha, this thing that is not coming from me. This thing, absence of what? Absence of this thing that is not coming from me, that's not coming from my projection, that's not coming from my seeds ripening, that is not coming from my labor. Okay? And so how things exist? From my labor, the dependent origination, they exist in dependence upon my labor. They exist in dependence upon my labor. Okay? How to prove that? If I go looking for the thing that get my labor, I cannot find it. I cannot find it. I go looking for a thing that get my labor, I cannot find it. I find what? I zoom down, I find smaller and smaller parts that get another label. Smaller and smaller part that appear to me that get another label. Okay, I can just keep on zoom down, and then I find, oh, there's not a single thing that's not coming from my label. You get an aha, that's the emptiness, the absence. You find the absence of the absence, just simple absence. And how things exist, you bring that from down, you bring up again. Parts, label, parts, label, parts, label. The dependent origination. How things exist? My labor, by virtue of my labor, means by virtue of my projection, by virtue of my seeds ripening. Okay, so this is your meditation. They ask you to perform the analysis where you seek the things you label with your concept and see if you really can never find it. Okay, so this is your meditation. I finished you can do all your homework, your quiz, but I will still continue a little bit more for the next class. Okay, because I don't want to rush. Okay. So let's do a dedication. Close your eyes. And be very, very happy with yourself that you're here, you're learning, you're here, something so profound. is very, very profound, that is going to change your life, the key to happiness, the key to becoming a good person. And so be very, very happy with yourself. And think of all those good seeds that we have collected today, and we want to share with everyone by the power of the goodness that we have just done. We all beings complete the collection of merit and wisdom, and thus gain the two ultimate bodies that merit and wisdom make. Use 3 long exhale, 1 to center, 1 to person you want to help. Two to send to everyone you love. Three to send to all sentient beings in the universe, wherever they are. So open your eyes when you're ready. Okay. We managed to finish class 2. Yay. Thank you for paying attention. I hope you are still okay. Okay, good. Yeah. Thank you. You can stop the recording.